Oh, hell yeah. What's up, YouTube? Oh, man, I'm excited about this video because today I'm making Philly cheesesteaks. I don't know about you, but I know I love a really good Philly cheesesteak, and it's not every day that you get to go to Philly. So we're about to throw down and bring Philly back to your town. We're going to make a sandwich that's so beefy, cheesy, delicious, that's going to leave your mind blown. So let's get into this. So today's ingredients is going to be a ribeye steak. I have a sourdough bread roll. I have some aged cheddar cheese. I also have some provolone cheese. I have some Velveeta cheese. We got some hot peppers, an onion, and some beef tallow. This is going to help you replicate the flavor that you get out of a Philly cheesesteak with the flat top. So this is how we're going to replicate that. So the first thing you want to do when you're making a Philly cheesesteak is you want to put your ribeye steak in the freezer for about an hour. That way there, it's kind of firm. So when you slice it up, it's going to be a lot easier to slice. So when you're slicing your steak up, you want to have some fairly thin slices. You don't want big, thick chunks. I think that it doesn't go a long way in a Philly cheesesteak. I think thinner is better, and we'll break it up in the pan when we get to that point. I also have some cheddar cheese and some Velveeta cheese. These are going to be for our Cheez Whiz. The Velveeta cheese is going to be that mouth texture that we want to get out of that Cheez Whiz. And then the cheddar cheese is going to give us that flavor. It's going to be a lot better than just using a plain Cheez Whiz. I also have the provolone cheese. We're going to toss that into the onions and the meat mixture once we get that cooked up. And we're just going to throw that right down on top. That way there we get a nice, cheesy, beefy flavor. The bread roll, we're using a sourdough. Now, I think it's an Amoroso bread roll, what they use in Philly cheesesteak, but I like sourdough, so that's what I use on my Philly cheesesteaks. I think it's better that way. So I recommend sourdough. If you can find Amoroso rolls, I think that's how you pronounce it. You can go with those, but I think this sourdough is going to be right up our alley. All right. So like I said, I'm going to get slicing and dicing, and I'm going to see you right back here in just a few minutes. Now that we got everything all chopped up, we're going to start over here making that Cheez Whiz. We're going to start melting our cheese down. So let's get to that. So when you're making your Cheez Whiz, I find it's best that you boil some water and put a bowl in there, and then you could cook your Cheez Whiz inside the bowl, and that way there you don't get burnt cheese at the bottom of your pot. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw in our Velveeta cheese, and we're going to throw in our cheddar cheese. We're going to let that start to melt down, and then after it melts down, we're going to add in a little bit of milk or heavy cream. Either one, milk works just fine, and that's going to give us the texture that we want. You don't want it to be too thick. You want it to be thin enough to where it just kind of flows off the spoon and get the texture that the Cheez Whiz has. And that's how we're going to do it, is by adding a little milk, but we'll do that in a little bit. So now that our cheese is melting down, it's still on the thick side, we're going to start adding our milk. We're going to probably add about a 1/4 cup of milk, but we're going to slowly add it in until we get the texture that we want. We'll just put in about a 1/2 of the 1/4 cup. Mix that around, see what we come up with. All right, you see that? That's still a little too thick. I think we want it just a little thinner than that. So I'm going to add in about another tablespoon or so of milk, and I think it should be absolutely perfect. I think that should do it. Okay, that's the consistency that you want right there. That's how you want it to flow off the spoon. You want to be able to just roll it right off the edge of the spoon. That's perfect. We're going to be using beef tallow. This right here. This is going to help us replicate the flavor of a Philly cheesesteak. So we're just going to throw in, I don't know, probably a tablespoon about like that. And we're going to throw our onions in. Move those around your skillet or your cast iron, and we're going to just get those to where they soften up and they become translucent. And we're also going to try to see if we can get a little bit of caramelization on the onions. Don't forget to stir your cheese every few minutes, probably about every 45 seconds or so that your cheese doesn't start to thicken at the bottom. Now that our onions are done, we're going to remove those from the pan, and then we're going to start cooking our meat. We're going to get some more of the beef tallow in there, probably another tablespoonful, like that. Throw in your meat. Oh boy. Now we're starting to get real right now. Move that around your pan. Try to break up any clumps of meat that you have. Flatten it out in your pan. Let it cook on one side for a little bit until it starts to brown, and then move over to the other side. All right, we got it browned on one side, so stir it around. See, we got that good little bit of sear, a little bit of brown on the meat. That's what you want right there. Mix that around the pan. Let it finish cooking on the other side. We got the pan at a medium-high heat. Our meat is just about done. When you get the texture that you're looking for, your meat is done. So then we'll start adding in the onions. Onions go back in at this point. Oh man, that smells so good right now. Look at that. Philly cheesesteak right here, baby. Not much more you can ask for. We're going to push all the meat into the center. We're going to make a mound of meat and onions. We're going to start adding in our cheeses. So the first thing that you want to do, this is going to be a huge sandwich. This is going to be a really big sandwich. So you probably don't need to make a whole ribeye to make one sandwich. Probably a half a ribeye would have been fine. First thing you're going to do is you're going to put some of your cheese whiz on it. A couple spoonfuls of the cheese whiz right on top of the meat right there. Now you're just going to let that meat render with the cheese on it. And it's also going to get a good sear on the bottom from it sitting. We're going to get a little bit of crust. All right, now that your provolone cheese is on there, you're just going to let that sit. I got the bread in the microwave in a wet paper towel. I'm going to turn that on for about 30 seconds. That's going to steam your bread. And once your bread is nice and steamed, you're going to take and put your bread on top of your meat. I even went ahead and I put a little bit of the cheese whiz on our bread. That way there we can have it as cheesy as we possibly can get it. You're just going to set that right on top just like that. Let that cook for a minute. Let it steam together. And we're going to be plating this in just a second. Now when your sandwich is all ready, we're just going to get underneath it. You're going to scrape underneath all that meat. Make sure you keep it inside your bread like that. And then I'm going to bring you over to the other side and we're going to plate it up. There you go. Philly cheesesteak. It looks absolutely delicious right now. It smells amazing. So we're just going to go ahead and finish it off with a little bit more cheese whiz. Add your hot peppers or sweet peppers, whatever you like. If you're not really into spicy food, sweet peppers are really good. I'm having a little spice on mine today. That's the way I want it. And there you go. The thing's absolutely perfect. I really nailed it on this one. I can tell, man. I can't wait to eat this. So let's cut this thing in half and let's try it. Look at that. Absolutely perfect Philly cheesesteak. You're not going to find a better one around here. I doubt you could. Philly cheesesteaks are hard to find and they're hard to get good ones. So now you can just make them at home. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Whew. Oh man. Let's see, it's hot. Mm. Mm. Oh man, look at that. Oh, you can't beat it. This is amazing. Oh, that's absolutely delicious. Mm. Yeah, just a good bite right there. Mm. Oh, mm. Oh, man. Oh boy. It's a little on, it's really cheesy. The meat is got so much flavor. Using that beef tallow makes a huge difference. Make sure you soften up your roll before you plate your food. And man, just sit down and enjoy. Mm. 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 Please try this recipe. I don't know how words just don't explain how good this is. I recommend making this. If you make it the way I just did, you should just be in heaven. This is one of the best ones I've ever made. Hmm. All right. So thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. I hope you try the recipe. And if you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the video. And I will see you in the next one. I'm going to go enjoy my sandwich now. So, peace.